During our time, my wife and I, our greatest challenge in that time was having a child. I don't know if the machine wasn't working. That's another story. So anyway, my wife and I tried everything. The IVF, the whole shebang. It wouldn't work for the longest time. We'd be invited to friends' houses. There'll be kids in the yard playing, swimming and all that. It was tough for us having a child. Finally, a friend of ours recommended.
Most Kenyans know Jeff Koinange as the confident voice that commands attention, the golden voice of television and radio. He is the man who has interviewed presidents, kings and rebels. The man who always seems unshaken, untouchable, unstoppable, but behind the booming laugh and polished suits was a story of deep struggle, a story very few people knew. Before Sonia came into the picture, Jeff had been married once before. It was his first marriage, one filled with promise, excitement, and dreams of forever. But as life will have it, not all love stories have happy endings. His first marriage didn't last. It was painful, emotional, and it left Jeff questioning everything about love, about family, and about destiny. He rarely talks about it, but those close to him say it was a period that broke him, not just as a man, but as a believer in love. He picked himself up, like he always does, and decided to focus on his career.
And these three magic letters, I'll say it once, I won't say it again. This is CNN.
Then came Sonia, a woman with grace, warmth, and quiet strength. To Jeff, she wasn't just a partner, she was peace. Together, they shared dreams of building a home and raising children. But soon after they got married, life dealt them another difficult card. Years passed, but no child came. Month after month, year after year, the tests, the doctor visits, the heartbreaks. Jeff would smile on camera, interview world leaders, and sign autographs, but deep down, his heart was heavy.
During our time, my wife and I, our greatest challenge in that time was having a child. I don't know if the machine wasn't working. That's another story. So anyway, my wife and I tried everything. The IVF, the whole shebang. It wouldn't work for the longest time. We'd be invited to friends' houses. There'll be kids in the yard playing, swimming and all that. It was tough for us having a child. Finally, a friend of ours recommended.
At home, the silence of an empty nursery was a reminder of what they didn't have. He once admitted with a faint smile, "I don't know if the machine wasn't working." Humor masking heartbreak, that is how he coped. It is hard for people to imagine someone like Jeff Koinange struggling with something so human. He was admired, successful, powerful, yet powerless over one of life's simplest blessings. Jeff and Sonia tried everything: diets, prayers, medical tests. Nothing worked. As they grew older, the pressure became louder. Family questions, friends asking, "So when are we meeting your little one?" The awkward silences, the painful smiles. But through it all, they held onto faith. Then one day, a friend mentioned a clinic in Barcelona, Spain, known for helping couples struggling with infertility. They were skeptical but desperate enough to try.
And at a clinic in Barcelona in Spain, and we finally went there, and sure enough, it happened, and our son was born on July the 31st, 2007. He's going to be 15 at the end of this month. Yeah, thank you.
So Jeff and Sonia packed their bags, not knowing that this trip will change their lives forever. In Barcelona, doctors suggested a procedure, IVF, in vitro fertilization, a medical miracle of its own kind. Jeff later said, "A friend told us of a clinic in Barcelona, and we went there, and sure enough, it happened." After years of tears and disappointment, Jeff and Sonia finally got the news they had waited for so long to hear. They were pregnant. On July 31st, 2007, Jeff and Sonia welcomed their son into the world, a healthy baby boy, a miracle baby. Jeff couldn't stop smiling. He said it felt like a second chance at life. After all the waiting, after all the pain, he was finally a father. He called it the best day of his life. Even Nelson Mandela, yes, Madiba himself, had been following Jeff's journey. Jeff said Mandela used to ask him, "Have you gotten me a grandson yet?"
So, back to Mandela. Press conference, Pretoria. Every time he would see me, say, the son of chiefs, how are you? I said, Mr. President, and I'd ask a question, and he's, have you gotten me a grandson yet? I said, Mr. President.
And when the child was born, Jeff proudly called Mandela's office to share the news. Madiba invited them, and in that historic moment, Mandela held Jeff's son, touched his cheek, and blessed him. That moment, Jeff says he will never forget.
The man was trying, we are trying. He said, do you need some help? This guy spent, 27 years in prison. He wants to help me out. So little Mbio is born. 7-8 months later, we're still in South Africa. I'm getting ready to pack up and come back.
It is easy to think of Jeff only as the loud, energetic, unstoppable man we see on TV. But in truth, he is a man who has been broken, healed, and reborn. He is a man who knows what it means to lose love, to wait for years for something you can't control, and to finally see God's hand move when you least expect it. Through it all, he has remained thankful. He has often said, "Everything I am is because of grace." His story is more than just fame or fortune. It's about faith, resilience, and remember that even the strongest people cry in silence sometimes. When you see Jeff today, laughing on Citizen TV and shouting, remember this: behind that laughter is a man who has walked through fire, a man who turned pain into purpose, a man who believes that miracles still happen. Jeff Koinange'S life reminds us of something powerful, that no matter how dark your journey gets, there's always a light waiting at the end of it. You just have to keep walking.
You know what? Let me give the president, former president, let me give the president a call and see if he has time, because he was older now, right? He was older, his schedule was very tight, and they didn't want him to meet too many people. But I called his office and I said, listen, man, it's Jeff, you remember me? Yeah. Can you tell Madiba that we finally have a son? He's 8 months old, we're heading back to Nairobi. Can we bring him so that Madiba can bless him? And he'll say, okay, we'll call you back. They called back and said, tomorrow noon, be at the office in Johannesburg.
This is not just the story of a journalist, it's the story of a man who dared to hope again. Jeff Koinange, a living proof that miracles are real, and that behind every smile, there's a story worth telling.
I'm Jeff Koinange. Welcome to Rwanda Television News. And in case you think you've switched to Citizen Television, don't panic.